All right, my boys. Um, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, I got some time today, and I know it's 1 a.m., but I'm gonna have some free time tomorrow because I finished some of my personal stuff. So let's just continue with the retopology um, alien that I did uh, like yesterday, like I don't know, possibly at 8 a.m. So let's just continue and keep explaining some specific stuff. So I correct some specific stuff in there, but let's just continue. For example, in this case, for example, let's just leave by now this area of the eye. We're gonna just complete the rest of the eye later. And yeah, let's just finish the loops for the lips in here. So as you can see in here is something pretty fast and something really quick in here. At the end of the day, we're gonna need more points in here because we need to bend the lips in many different ways, like chewing or eating things or speaking. So at the end of the day, I repeat, we need to match the rest of the points with these guys in here. So let's just try to match, for example, this guy with this with this. So we're gonna miss one guy in here. So I deactivate, for example, in this case, the subdivision surface in here. So we don't need it at this moment. So this is gonna be with this guy, this with this guy. So this guy is gonna be with this guy in here, and we're gonna have two guys in here for the almost the corner here in the lip, so where we produce the saliva and we're drooling. So we're gonna match all the points in here. So let's just try to match the silhouette here for the alien in here. So we're gonna match this guy in here. Let's just press F. Oh my god, I always forget the screencast keys in here. So let's just add these guys in here. Let's just these two guys, F, and then put your cursor next to, because the mirror is just gonna be activated to this side in here. So let's just put the cursor in here and then F, 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 and let's just optimize in here. Let's just collapse these two guys in here, and we don't need so many things in there. Yeah, that's all right at this moment. Let's just collapse also these two guys because we're gonna make something a little bit more flexible. Yes. All right, let's just do exactly the same in the top in the top part. Let's just press F just to reconnect these guys in here. This is one of the things that I love so much here in Blender, because the package has pretty good tools that is gonna almost finish the job for you. So let's just add the line that we delete. Let's just add this. Oh my god. Let's just go back because I think we messed up. We need a little bit more lines here. Okay, this guy in here, like this and this. So we're missing this guy in here. So don't worry guys, we're gonna just add more lines in here a little bit later, and we will move more points in here. So as you remember, last time I was having so much trouble with the with the retopology system. So at the end of the day, you don't need to click anymore the face in here. Just use face project and face near list, and that's it. That's not a big deal, and it's gonna just behave pretty good in here. It's gonna attach pretty good. So let's just move some of the points in here. Always have things. I am so sorry guys, we have a storm in here in the north. As I told you before, it's pretty hot in here, but when we have rain in here, it's really crazy, because I'm close to the Gulf, and you know, the storms in here in the Gulf are much more crazy than in the Pacific. So let's just finish this. So as you can see in here, we're still just following the confluence about the information that I gave you before. So we have this looping here that is for the gesture, for the mouth, for the eyes, for, and we're gonna have also the I'm so sorry guys, sorry, I cannot control the storm. And we're gonna have this looping here for the masking here. So this is actually pretty good because we're having so much control with all of these guys in here. So we can have all of these loops because the mouth is gonna just make gestures in here, that the muscles are gonna just make some blobby stuff in here in the cheeks, and the palms are gonna be a little bit different than the humans. This is a little bit more like crows, ocean crows. So let's just finish this guy, some specific areas, and yeah, let's just continue. Let's just bring this guy in here. So this is optional, it's not 100% mandatory, but for example, some people, not everybody, try to make something a little bit more like this, to move and have all like this. In my case, I'm gonna leave it. Yeah, I'm gonna just put it like this. But what I was trying to say, sometimes some people try to make a small loop in here. I am one of those people, because it's gonna give me a little bit more pronunciation on the jaw, and more control, because I don't want to send so much topology to downstairs. I know there's a lot of flexible stuff in here in the neck, but let's just control it just a little bit, and let's just connect, for example, this guy with this. Let's just add just one loop in here, and then we're gonna just fill this guy in here. So this is what I was trying to tell you guys. So with this, we're gonna have a little bit more control with the character. So as you can see here, we're going sorry, nice and dandy with the topology. And you know, one of the most important things when you are doing characters, you need to realize that if you're doing a humanoid, just, oh, I'm so sorry guys, that was the telephone of the house. So when you're doing something close to a humanoid or a human, you need to follow some specific loops. For example, the loops that I already told you, the gesture, the mouth, the eyes, blah blah blah. But also take in mind that sometimes you're gonna find some specific characters with these pronounced palms in here and cheeks in here, that they don't have exactly the same flow like the humans. So this is more like an alien. So we have some specific like horns in here, like a dinosaur, or I don't know, possibly crawlings. Let's just continue. So we're going to send these two guys in here to this area. So let's just move this guy in here, and also here, and these guys are gonna just make sense for the jaw, because the jaw is gonna just come in from this side. So let's just come in, or maybe just move these guys in here like this, and we're gonna change the direction in here. So let's just move it something like this, and we're gonna extrude like this, and so as you can see, I'm following some of the human anatomy, not 100%, because it's not 100% human. This is an alien. Some things are gonna be the same, some other things are gonna be different, so you have to take that in mind. So let's just connect this guy. Also, let's just add another lining here with Control R. Let's just fill it in here. Let's just add a line. Let's just move it, and we're gonna just start just propagating properly a little bit in here. For example, these guys, just fill it. Then this, put your cursor in here, FF, and then FF. So we're gonna have something like this. We're gonna add some topology in here and just start just moving some of this specific stuff in here. We can just give some space because the jaw is gonna give the shape of this bone in here that we have in the jaw and in the back. Let's just add another loop in here, something a little bit more like this. Let's just add the real time for the shin grab. Oh, we have one viewer, thank you very much. And let's just finish this, something like this. We're gonna need another one, and let's just move this guy, something like this. Finish this. Also, another thing that you can do sometimes in here is, for example, let's just go for viewport display. We can go for wireframe and all edges in front, and then go to the sculpt mode, and we can just start just smoothing in here with that guy in there like this. So we need to change some stuff in here with the sculpting tools because the smooth tool has almost 70% of pressure. We don't need so much. This is in order just to give you an idea about that you can just smooth things in here, and you can just go back to the other tools. For example, let's just finish this part and go to the sculpt mode and smooth this area. This is gonna give us so much freedom about the way to, let me 0.002 or a little bit more, I think. Oh, I think we have some reverse faces, like some negative faces in there. It's alright, that's alright. Let's just smooth, and that's it. So let's just continue with the retopology here. As you can see, it's pretty clean, the retopo that we've been doing in here. So let's just move these guys just a little bit down like this, and we're gonna add another line in here because we need it in order just to have better proportions in there. We're gonna add one more line in here, something like this, and then we're gonna just use the smooth tool with the sculpt, just some small touches, and that's it. No big deal. Okay, so let's just complete this guy. Let's just extrude in here, something like this, and this. I know you can hear the raining here, guys. It's because as long as I know, there's a hurricane close to the Gulf right now, so possibly this is the tail of that hurricane that is really far from my town. So as you can see, we almost finished the front of the face in here. So the rest of this guy, for example, in this case, could be that if we can, for example, in here, make a small loop in here like this. This is in order just to give more detail about the wrinkles when you make some faces and some change the expression of the eyes and things like that, the eyebrows area in here. And also is to avoid to send so much topology to the back of the skull. So we're gonna move this guy in here, we're gonna move these guys. We need to propagate properly when we're doing characters is a piece of art. I know AI is pretty close right now, but I prefer to do it manually because we're gonna have something pretty clean like this. In AI, we have poles, we have infinitive spirals and things like that. I have already checked many AI retopo tools in there, and 100% I don't like them at all. I mean, some people say, oh, you can just fix it and things like that. Fixed poles and spirals are madness. I can tell you 100%. So just take in mind, guys, when you're doing a project, just think about the client. The client is gonna make a lot of changes, and the client sometimes doesn't have the proper vocabulary when you are just working with them. And sometimes they're gonna tell you just put more design in there, and you say, all right. So imagine tell the AI put more design, and then the client is gonna get mad because the client is not getting what they want. So just take in mind, guys, is try to do things in a correct way. So let's just do this. I'm gonna make a loop in here that is going this way and is going to the back like this. It's gonna be a pretty good loop also to support the rest of the topology. So let's just click in here, something like this. I'm gonna add a line in here. I know it's gonna produce a triangle in there, but don't worry, guys. We're gonna add a line in here that we're gonna just move it like that. And by the way, guys, so let me just go back. I think it's gonna be better if I, for example, if I increase for 2, like in here. It's because we have so much details with those small horns in there, and we're gonna need that topology in there. Let's just move this topology in here, make some space, something like this. Also with these guys, slide those guys. We will need to add more topology for the eyes in here, and don't worry, if you don't want to add more topology, or if you want to just optimize that, what you can do in these kind of situations is just make loops. We can make a circular loop in here just to avoid sending more topology to the eyes in there. But at the end of the day, we're gonna need that topology for the eyes, because the eyes are something that they deform so much in their expression. They closing the eyes, and it's part of the soul of a character at some point. So I don't know if you have heard a phrase in your countries, guys, that the eyes speak more than the soul. So that's the reason, because the eyes are pretty important, these kind of things. We need to move this guy just a little bit, something like this. Just give it just a small space in there. We're gonna add just one loop in there, and we're gonna just move these guys specifically for this crinkle in there for the eyelets, something like this. I'm not trying to follow every wrinkle in there. That's almost impossible, but just the most important parts in there. For example, for this case, let's just move just a little bit these guys in here. Yeah. And all right. And let's just complete this area. We can, for example, in here, we can collapse these guys in here. That's not a big deal. Let's just move this and this. Let's just give some space in here. Here you go. We have proper space in there. At the end of the day, we're gonna have to put another line in here, I think, or possibly, I don't know. It depends. Yeah, let's just leave it like this right now. Don't worry. Let's just smooth this area, propagate this, something a little bit more like this, and go back to modeling. All right. We will add another line in here, and okay, no, I need to fix some stuff in here because I want to send a line in here and another line in here because we have a big space in there. That's something that I really would like to do. Let's just click like this. This is a small trick that I'm gonna show you here in Blender. For example, let's just select the parallel lines that we have in here. We have a V in here. These are not parallels, but the thing is that my goal in here is just to call the subdivide tool in here. It's gonna produce a line in between of those lines in there. Then we can collapse this guy and we can continue the line in there and just add this one in here. And it's gonna give us the final result in there. Then we can just start just propagating all of these guys in here a little bit more properly, like this. Don't worry. So you can see all the topology, all the tessellation is just fitting pretty good. At the end of the day, we have 18. Possibly we're gonna have at the end 24 around. We need to move these guys in here. For example, this and this. And also this guy. Something a little bit more like this. Let's just move this. Something like this. All right. Let's just go back to sculpt mode and just smooth this area. And I'm gonna save this because I don't want to cry. Oh, well, yeah. I have the Retopo tool, but I don't wanna show something that is like a third party. I wanna use the classic mode at some point because using add-ons is not bad. It's actually is pretty good. But the thing is this: if you don't know how to use the internal tools in here, how are you gonna know the add-ons? The add-ons are based on the basic tools that Blender already has. So I prefer to do that. And also, as I mentioned before in the previous part, I could use ZBrush for this, the Z remesher in there. But the thing is this: some of the tools for auto retopo, they produce a lot of spirals in there. and fixing spirals are a nightmare because sometimes the spirals produce infinitive loops in there. So if you try just to collapse a spiral or a pole, the loop is gonna collapse many parts of the topology. So in these cases, just in order just to see how properly you can just go fast with the normal tools, because just remember one thing: if you go to a studio and the studio doesn't have the retopology tool, you cannot request a tool because it's money at the end of the day. And some of the studios are a little bit selfish, and they will tell you, are you gonna put the money, or do you want us to put the money? So at the end of the day, it's alright, man. Don't worry. It's also about the to go a little bit more slow for people who doesn't know the software in here, and also some of the tools that we already have in here are kind of okay. I mean, but I got your point. I got your point. Yeah, most of the time I don't use add-ons for explanations or lives because it's more like promotion, and I don't promote other people. It sounds selfish, but it's not. I mean, I know Jonathan and Blender Cookie, but they don't give me money for promotion, for promoting the tool in there. I know Jonathan Williamson. He's a pretty good friend because I have the tool in here, but sometimes I don't like to use it. It's just a little bit like, sometimes I get what I want, sometimes I don't get what I want with the tools. So in here, for example, we have 1, 2, 3, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at the end of the day, we need to move, and we need to give a little bit more space in here. I know with those tools we can simplify many things, but first of all, for people who doesn't know the software well and they wanna stay in characters or organic modeling, you need to teach them how to use the normal tools, because sometimes they're gonna fix more stuff than the add-ons. Let's just move this guy, something like this. There you go. So we have this, and we have 1 and 2. So let's just move this guy just a little bit in the top and add another line. So in here we have 5 and we have 6. Okay, we need one more. One more. So we have 6 in here, and we have 6 in here, and we have 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So let's just select all these loop in here, and then Control F, and we're gonna find for grid fill. In this section, where we have the number of spans across this, and we have the offset for rotation. So we can add more lines in here, and we can rotate all of this. We can have something like this and fill it. I know Retopoflow has the tool for that, but also we can use the grid fill in here. Something a little bit more like this. And there you go. Let's just click it just to implement in there. Then sculpt mode, just to give it a little bit more softness in here. At the end of the day, we have something like this. And yeah. All right. Yeah, I know. I know. But I prefer to give you a good explanation than saying nothing. It's alright, man. Don't worry. I appreciate that you're in here. So we have something like this, and we can go for this part of the neck below the jaw. So we're gonna just click these guys in here, and we're gonna just extrude, and we're going to this view. We're gonna click it, and we're gonna add just one line in there. We're gonna just move a little bit. Let's just complete this guy. So F and F in here. I know we have so much space in here, but just remember, guys, in this part of the jaw and between the jaw and the neck, we can just click something like this. Use the K for the knife, or you can just select these parallel lines and then change the direction in here, or not in here, possibly in here, and then just subdivide in here. Uncheck create endgun, and it's gonna create your path in here. This is a small trick that I learned a long time ago. Blender has it automatically long time ago with the knife, but not anymore. This is a pretty good trick. Sometimes it's faster for some specific organic shapes. This is gonna give us some pretty good space, because we can just start moving something like this. The only add-on that I use more, let me tell you, my friend, is the UV Master, the UV Pack Master 3. That's the only one that I use a lot, because when I do UDIMs for film, or sometimes even though right now at this time for video games, especially for environments, we use UDIMs in there. I remember when I was working at EA in Plants vs. Zombie Battle for Neighborville, I heard that some people were using UDIMs for the landscape in there. I know, I remember that. But also, you can use UDIMs in Unreal. I don't have any idea about Unity, but as I told you, and I repeat, I use a lot the UV Pack Master. I also use the new extensions that Blender brought, the Maya 3 UV tools. These are pretty cool, but most of the time I know where the tools are. I know how to do things, and sometimes the new add-ons are pretty cool and useful, but sometimes it's like I need to spend some time learning the new tools. At this moment, because I'm a 3D generalist, this is something that I'm gonna share with you guys. I'm learning right now simulations. I'm working with fluids, and I've been just working with fluids to do, for example, some fluids for commercials and ads and things like that. I've been working with fluids like splashes and inflows and things like that. For example, to make a, I'm gonna make a commercial right now. I was trying to do a splash for a Coca-Cola bottle with the liquid, and actually I got it pretty good. I did something. Let me just show you just pretty quick in there. I was working doing this, and this is some of the things that I was working doing something, and it's behaving pretty good actually. It's not bad. It took me like 5 minutes just to learn how to do something like this, and also some of the splashes in there, like the first splashes in there, and it's alright. I think so. But yeah, let me just save because I don't want to cry. And yeah, there you go. So at the end of the day, for example, in these kind of cases, I'm gonna move the topology for this guy just a little bit, guys, because I want to make the topology for the neck something more a little bit like this, not something like this, because we want this topology works in rigging and skinning, and yeah, I don't want to mess it up. Let's just move this guy in here, repropagate all the stuff in here. Let's just move it something like this. Uncheck this guy. Let's just move also this guy in here, and this one too, I think so. Yeah, there you go. I have never asked you guys, where are you from? Actually, well, you can see I'm a Mexican guy, but I've been speaking English since 2000 when I was 17. That's the reason, because I speak a little bit more fluent English than my Spanish, because I've been working in this industry since a long time ago. And also, I went to Canada. I studied in Banguas College English, and I never gathered with Latin American guys when I went to I don't know, possibly a restaurant or uh, a happy birthday party from some of my colleagues in there. That's the reason, because I speak better English than Spanish. And yeah, I'm Mexican, but I have Spanish blood because my dad. Yeah. All right, let's just continue here. Yeah, as you can see here, we're gonna have some big spaces in here. So at the end of the day, we will need just possibly just to make a loop in here, just to go to the flow with this guy in here. But we're gonna do it later when we almost finish the character, because the details are always done at the end of the character, not at the beginning. So we have something like this. Yeah, there you go. Let's just add a little bit more lines in here in this section. One more. Let's see how is. Okay, this is going like this. Let's just move these guys, or add one more line in here. I'm gonna let's just make this a little bit more propagate like this. Okay, this is gonna be the last one, and in between I'm gonna add the lines that I have missed. So don't worry. There you go. Add some space, and yeah. like this. I'm gonna add one line in there, click it just to attach it. We're gonna add two lines in there, click it. Slide just a little bit this guy. We're gonna have something like this, and this line, for example, we're gonna be able just to slide it up like this, and we're gonna have a pretty good propagation. Here we go. Yeah, there you go. We can add one more line in here. That's no big deal. Let's just smooth this to propagate a little bit more. Nice and dandy. Let's just merge these two guys there. At the end of the day, we already have, for example, the shin grab in here, and let's just add the subdivision surface. And let me just show you guys, this is what we have right now, and the shin grab is doing its work properly, because as you can see, there's no strange artifacts in there. And for example, if I add more detail, so that the transfer is just working properly. So we're starting just to have some issues in here, is because we don't have the loop in here. So that's not a big deal. We're gonna just produce it, but as you can see here, we are going to have really nice detail with this character. As you can see, all the wrinkles are working properly. So some areas we will need to clean it when we reproject all the stuff in there, because you know we have a big high res with this guy in the top in here, as you can see. And yeah, the main goal in here is just to have a proper loop in here like this that is going in here, and we're gonna just make it like, oh sorry, something like this with these three lines, and possibly we're gonna have a like a diamond in there just to kill the loop in there, but it's all right, don't worry. As you can see here, we have we're working pretty nice and dandy. So we have the main loops in here, gesture, mouth, the mask in here, for example. We have for the eyes, and it's working properly. We have something for the eyebrows section that is going like this, for this gesture between the eyebrows and the eyes. And also we have this loop that is going from the jaw to the top of the skull in here, and we have pretty nice topology here. At the end of the day, as you can see here, we have 356 polygons in here. This is actually really good for a character at this moment. When we finish, possibly we're gonna have, I don't know, possibly 2,000 or 3,500 in total. I don't know. That's a pretty good number, actually, even for a mid poly or low poly for video games. And for high res, for example, I'm gonna make a copy and then I'm gonna just subdivide just one time, and then I'm just gonna send it to resculpt and reproject all the details, and then I'm gonna sculpt more details, because we're gonna have more proper topology that is gonna adapt all the details and wrinkles, the new wrinkles and pores and things like that we're gonna add. And yeah, thank you very much guys for watching today. This is my name is Mario, and have a good night guys. It's 2 a.m. and enjoy the night. Possibly, I don't know, possibly Friday, possibly Saturday, I don't know. I'm gonna continue in the third part, and God bless you guys. Have a good one.